I see you. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me. It's me, Shelle, bitch.
Hey gente, welcome back to another week of the It's Me Shelle podcast. And remember, my job is to make your road to Friday a lot easier. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are, mi gente. Welcome back to another episode of the It's Me Shelle podcast. And this week, we have a lovely guest with us. I was actually on his podcast a couple of weeks ago, I want to say. So if you haven't tuned in, make sure you go tune into that. I want you guys to help me welcome on the potty for the very first time. And this is way overdue, by the way. We have actor, nightlife promoter, podcast host of the Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle podcast and Premier Boys podcast. He's just doing a whole bunch of stuff out here in these streets. Ken.
Thank you for that introduction, Miss Michelle, and I'm happy to be on the Michelle podcast. It definitely have been long overdue. And yeah, this is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, host of Mr. Gentleman like the podcast, 1/4 of the Premier Boy podcast. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for being here. I feel like my intro, I tried to like stuff as much as I could in there and make it really meaty. So I was just like, e, So I hope you liked it.
I think that was good. It was good. I liked it. Thank you for that.
Of course, again, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Like I said before, this has been way overdue.
Way overdue.
I know. And like I said, if you guys have not tuned in to the episode where little old me was on there, make sure you head over to wherever you stream your podcast and tune in because it was definitely a vibe. It was such a great, great time.
Yeah. Check that episode out. And once again, thank you for coming on my show. It really was a really dope episode. You made me laugh through the entire episode, and yeah, thank you for that. I just ended the season, so I just want to say thank you for coming on the show, being a part of season 7 of Mr. Gentleman Like That podcast.
Yeah, of course. Of course. It was a vibe. Thank you so much for having me. All right. So we usually start with, a little bit of breaking the ice.
Okay.
All right. So, as always, I start with the very simple question of let la gente know who are you? Where are you from? Who is Ken?
Well, my name is Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I'm a tourist. I got 3 sisters. I'm an only boy. I'm half Asian, half Southern, but I was born here. Yeah, I don't like long walks on the beach and chilling and all the other stuff.
Wait,
Little joke.
wait. Oh yeah. I think, I think we just started like a dating thing right here. So, girls, he loves long walks on the beach.
Yeah, that was a little joke, No mind me.
Well, you have a myriad of talents, right? So let's start with podcasting. How did you get into podcasting or what made you want to start podcasting?
I always wanted to get into like radio and stuff since I was a kid. There was many things I wanted to do, acting, radio, and a whole bunch of stuff. So when the podcast presented itself, me and my friends were supposed to start the Premier Way podcast way early in 2018, but we put to do it at a radio station. But things just haven't, happened and stuff like that. So later that year, a friend I know, she found out about she had a podcast show, and I asked her, "How you get into podcasting?" So she told me about the app Anchor and stuff like that. So once she told me about that, I like, this is finally my chance to do it. So as time went on, I said I'm gonna start the podcast. I keep pushing it back. Remind you, this is September of 2018. So October came, I keep pushing it back. November came, keep pushing it back. December came, finally came up with a name, but still pushed it back. January, so early January came, still pushing it back until one day was January 20th.
Okay.
And and I was also a club promoter during this time. I didn't go to the club this night, so I just stayed home. I was like, what should I do today? So I just stayed home and started the podcast, and I just pretty much started doing the introduction and stuff like that. And then the podcast show was born on January 20th, 2018, Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And,
Wow.
and honestly, from that, I didn't think anything of it. A lot of people, close to me heard the show. They're like, "Wow, I didn't know you had a radio voice. I didn't know that you could do this." Because growing up, I was a shy kid. I dealt with speech problems growing up, being bullied a lot for it. So this was like a big deal for me, stepping out of my comfort zone, and ever since then, I just kept going. And look, 5 years later, here I am.
Wow, that's amazing. And you do have a good like radio voice. Like you're so good even if so when I'm on the train, I try to pick every day a podcast to listen to. And
Yeah,
it's crazy because instead of like watching if you're doing something on YouTube or anything, I'm listening and
yeah,
it's your voice is really it's a good train ride. I'm just like, "Oh my gosh." Or I find myself smiling and laughing and people are looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm just like, "Well, no, I'm listening. Like I'm really listening to something." Like I
yeah.
promise.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. It wasn't easy. Of course, it wasn't easy, but a bit times that I wanted to give up because of the lack of support, or just hard to come up with stuff. But I feel like I said, it's something that you really love. You just want to keep going at it. So that's how that happened. And yeah,
Damn. I love that because it is something that like it's not as easy just because you're talking on a microphone, whether you're doing
yeah,
video or audio only, it doesn't
yeah,
matter. You're still very nervous. You want to make sure that what you're
exactly,
saying
yeah,
actually makes sense, right? Like you're not
yeah.
for sure.
And and I gonna lie, even though I've been doing this for 5 years, I do get nervous doing this, whether it's a guest or a solo episode. 'Cause I always worry like, are they gonna relate to this, or am I talking crazy? And you get that, you get that. So
It's true. There are some episodes where I'm like, I don't even know if that made sense, but I guess I'm gonna
yeah,
put it out.
fact. Yeah, and oddly enough, the one that I don't like, people seem to like it more than me. So that's the way I'm thinking about it. That's the way I think about it.
That is so true. I released an episode actually now that you mentioned that. I released an episode, I wanna say, like, maybe 3, 4 weeks ago because I really didn't know what I was gonna talk about, so I was like, "Oh, you know what? I just watched Napoleon the movie
Oh
with,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that episode.
right?
Yeah.
So I was just like, "You know what? I just saw that it was really weird," and then went down the rabbit hole, started doing research. I'm like, "This guy was a little off. Let me just talk about it." And can I tell you, people were like, "Oh my god, that is so funny," and I'm just like, "Okay." Like, he was really a weird like, I didn't even mean to make jokes, like, he's just a weird guy, I don't know.
Yeah.
And people really liked that episode. I was like, "Okay, I
No, that was
guess."
no, that was a funny episode. I ain't gonna lie,
Y
I didn't like
you
that
see?
episode. Well.
You see? Like, and I was literally just off the top of my head, I was like, "Well, these are really weird facts. Let me just talk about them because it's random, but it was so weird." And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. All right. So not only are you the host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, you mentioned you're one of 4 hosts of the Premier Boys podcast. So let la gente know, how did that start? Like, are you guys all friends? Like, how did that come about?
Okay, so the premiere boy, yeah, all of us is friends. We've been friends since high school. So how that started, we always do together, stuff like that. We did music together. We did the club promoting together. So the podcast came about was I had one of them on my show. Shout out to Aaron Quito Sands. He came to my show for episode 3 and stuff like that. And the idea was always was there, but we tried. That was the episode where we tried to make it happen. So later that year, we had a pilot episode of the premiere podcast on with the gentleman, like the podcast, and it pretty much introduced him and my other friend, the Star Rider Ride, on the show, and we started on September 11th, 2019. I know weird day to start, but weird day to start, but yeah, it started on that day. Then a year later, we added my other friend to the show, who also went to high school with us. Long live the Chief Molly Mal. He's an artist, and we should add him on the show because he felt like he fit for the show. So ever since then, there's been all 4 of us ever since then. But it been more inconsistent. It's not like a show that we try to do it every week, but it just due to our schedule, it's been pretty hectic. So yeah, But we should be at this point. We pretty much put out episode whenever we can now.
Yeah, and that's hard because you're not dealing with like two people. It's
Yeah,
four
yeah,
people, and I'm
four.
sure
Yeah,
schedules are all conflicting. Everything is all over the place. So I get
yeah,
it.
yeah. Especially now, because one is married now, one got a kid now. I'm doing other project, and the other one doing project too. So like, yeah. So it's like we just try our best to make it happen. But the difference between Mr. Gentleman, like the pocket and the Premier Boys is, well, the Premier Boys is way more raunchy, way more raunchier than Mr. Mr. Gentleman. Basically.
I mean, it's four boys who are four men who went to
Yeah.
school, high school together. Oh, I don't expect anything but raunchy.
Yeah, especially with four different personalities. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it get pretty interesting. But it is hard to manage both shows. But I enjoy doing both shows because one, I enjoy doing my show because I could do what I want and speak my truth about it. And with my brothers, having a project with your brothers is always good. So yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that. And now, talking of projects and you being an artist, right? So clearly you're busy in the morning, busy in the afternoon, and at night because you're a nightlife promoter. No, is that the same as like a club promoter or an event
yeah,
promoter?
yeah. Same thing. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, same thing.
Okay. So what do you do that every night, or is there like specific times you do that, or is that like your real job? Because I always tell people like I have a real job because I have
Mhm.
to pay bills, and then I have the podcast and I have the voice act. I have all the other projects. So is being the
Yeah.
club promoter like your thing, your real everyday thing?
No. That was just a weekend thing. I started 2011. Me and my friend Eric Kitosin, we started that 2011. We done many spots in the city, from Club Rebel, from Studio 21, from Club Octagon, from Catcher in the city, from Taj in the city. So we've been doing that for 2011 through 2020. Cause after the pandemic, a lot happened and stuff happened in my life, so it kind of took a step back. But we are working on towards working get back into it now, slowly. So yeah, it's just been yeah. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey. But that was more like my side job too. That was more like my side job.
Oh, okay. Damn, you a
Yeah.
hustler. You hustling out here.
I try to get it back to it now. To get back to the old hustling Ken. Cause yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of took a step back since the pandemic. Kind of took a
And
step
I was
back.
just gonna say, I feel like everybody kinda had to take a step back from whatever their
Yeah.
normal was because of the pandemic, and now people are trying to kinda get back into things, but I also feel like things are different.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is. I go to this club now, completely different. Than was. It's just not the same vibe. It's just not the same.
Yeah,
That why I'm now open to doing other venues, not only just the urban crowd, but the pop crowd and stuff like that now too. So 'cause that's a different vibe too.
it
And
is.
yeah, it's completely different vibe. Yeah, completely different vibe.
It is. Alright, so another project, you're acting. Are you acting? Is this something that you just started? Have you been acting for a while, or you're trying to get into it? Tell me about that.
So at the acting thing, I was doing that. Well, first I started from my church, but
Okay.
but to take it serious was 2015. I went to after school with this legendary acting coach by the name of Melvin Williams. Did his class for a good 14 weeks. Then after that, I did like two off Broadway shows. One was the Zoo, the Zoo Story, and another one was King Lear. And it was a cool experience. I mean, I
Mm,
kind of stopped. Yeah, I kind of stopped a little bit. Also, try to get back into that a little bit too, but it depends on I kind of that was really hard to do because get out my comfort zone doing that. But
right,
but
right.
yeah,
So you're like in front of people, you're acting out, you're hoping that they love that they love it, that they clap, right? Because that's the scary
yeah,
part. Like, what if they don't clap? Like, I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. And I was trying to do. I went to an audition one time and I kind of messed up. I guess that kind of lost my confidence. Kind of why that I didn't really fully try again. But it's still a part of me that I still want to try again. But when the time's right, though.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I love that. So, how do you balance like your roles because you're doing so many things. So how do you balance like the role of a podcast host, of acting, the nightlife, promoting and all that stuff? And or do they all like kind of influence each other? Do they all kind of work together?
In a sort of sense, they all kind of work together because when I was doing promoting, I was just doing that and just regular job. Then 2016 came, I was still doing promoting and then the acting and working my regular job. And then 2019, I wasn't doing the acting no more, but I was still doing the promoting and having a regular job until pretty much 2020, basically. So I tried to balance myself, try to do it sort of equal. Like, well, I guess whatever opportunity come my way, that I guess that's the one I focus on, pretty
Mhm.
much. Yeah.
Oof.
Of course now the podcast is the main priority now, but yeah.
Okay. So you're up to so season 7 just ended. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
congrats for that because that means season 8 is coming,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's
But
tough.
yeah, yes. Yeah. So season, I could not season 8 here. So season 8 will be released on September 15th. So
Wow.
I decided to take a long break because after the season 6 finale, I didn't take no breaks. Literally did not take no break because I started my spinoff series, new season. A conversation about music and data talk.
Yeah,
So all those was on Thursday. So I didn't really take no break.
right.
So I decided to finally like all those shows from the gentleman take a break. Take a break because I've been going hard for the whole year, and I decided to take a break. And see, September 15th, season 8 will be dropping.
Yo, you know what though? Well deserved. You really
Yeah,
worked hard. You did your thing. So this is a well-deserved break. I'm excited
yeah.
for you.
Yeah, thank you. I think I appreciate that. But you can still see me on the Premiere Boy podcast because that new season literally just started. So if y'all want to see me, y'all can see me on the Premiere Boy podcast still.
That's right. You already heard it. So I've had I've had difficulties coming up with topics and stuff that I wanna talk about, or even kinda like guests. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
like, well, if I do have a guest, like what are we gonna talk about? What topics do I wanna go back and forth with? How do you go about coming up with topics? Do you have a process or do you just kind of like feel it as the days go by? Like, okay, I think I'm gonna talk about this. What's your process?
Yeah. Usually, I get to depend on my guests. Usually, 'cause every time when I have a first time guest, it's usually to introduce them to the audience, and then if I bring them back, then we decide to do like a whatever topics that we could talk about. So for me, I usually to fill it out, fill it out, and see like what they do and stuff like that, and then maybe I can add in something related to what they do into the conversation to make it fit.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. It's so hard for me sometimes. I'm just like, I don't know what I wanna talk about, or sometimes I'm literally on the train and I see something happen and I'm like, "Well, why do these things happen?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's the question I'm gonna that's what I'm."
Yeah, because just like when I was have you on the show and you told me that you was a comedian, was congrats to that again.
Thank you.
I Oh, your top favorite comedians. So I like, they'll be perfect for that, and stuff like that. So it's usually based on whatever the person doing. I try to relate. I try to relate it to the conversation.
Okay, okay, I see that. So one thing that I love that you do all the time, I wanna say every day, is you post inspirational quotes. And can I tell you, I appreciate them. I enjoy listening to them. They're very uplifting, no matter how short or how long. Oh my gosh, every time, like it'll relate to something in my life, whether it's the past, whether it's the present, whether it's something I'm thinking about. So you do a great job in like really making them hit. Cause every time I'm like, damn, that was good.
Then
I love that
thank
they're
you.
very uplifting, so I appreciate them. Don't stop doing them. I love every time I stumble upon them, especially on TikTok, I'm like, "Oh my god, there it is." It's like, this is great.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I can tell you why I started that. So,
Yes.
one day randomly, on my old IG page, I always post stuff, always post quotes, but at the time I just was posting it, but I wasn't really having no meaning behind it. So one night I was in the club, doing club promoting at Taj, and I see somebody who followed me on IG, she came up to me. She was like, "Are you Ken, Mr. Gentleman?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." I don't remember who this person was.
Mhm.
She just came to me and she was like, "I just want to say thank you for posting the quotes on your page. It really helped me during hard times." And I was just like, "Really?" I'm like, "Wow, thank you." And I didn't think, and mind you, I didn't seem like an it because I was just posted quotes just randomly. So ever since I heard that, I'm like, "Wow, thank you. That really means a lot. I didn't know I was doing that for you." So pretty much ever since then, I would start posting quotes that I created, like under my pictures. I would post like written quotes called Mr. Gentleman Facts Thursday, where it was written quotes and stuff like that.
Right.
So so when 2020 came, I made a TikTok. I told myself I never gonna make a TikTok. I hate TikTok. I never gonna make a TikTok. So one day I like, oh whatever, let me just make one. And I think to myself, what am I gonna do with TikTok? And then one day, pandemic here and all, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a quote. And I wasn't big with being on camera. I hated being on camera at one point because I was like very not confident in being on
Mhm.
camera. But one day, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And that way, I've just got a mic for the podcast. So I'm like, what? I think it's time to step this up. So I remember one day I just did the quote of the day. It was on a random day, and everybody liked it. Everybody liked it on TikTok. Everybody liked it on IG. We need to keep doing this. We really needed this,
Yeah.
especially with everything I've been through with anxiety during the pandemic and stuff. It was needed. So I just started doing that series ever since then, and now we got like 150 close a day now.
Yeah, I think I heard
150
actually.
close a day now. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. So I just happy that everybody was inspired by it, and yeah, definitely one thing that I like doing. 'Cause I like to help people. I like to get people in a good mood and push them to be their better self. So I'm glad that everybody enjoyed those quotes of the day. So and thank you for that as well.
Yeah, of course. That's what's up. I love that you used a time where you didn't feel like yourself or didn't feel
Yeah,
confident enough to be Ken
yeah,
and you kind of changed that up. And that's important because not everybody can do that. You know, some people it's very hard. So you just took that step, you did it and now you're helping somebody else get
yeah,
through whatever it is that they're going through because honestly there are times where I'm like, "Damn, I don't want to go to work today." Like I feel kind of like that cloud coming over and about to take over my whole day. And literally, you'll come up, and I'm like, all right, we're good. You know, we're all here. You know, everyone I see on a daily basis, whether it's outside, going to work, on social media, they're still around. They're still doing good.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
still pushing. So we're all going to push together. So I really appreciate it.
yeah. And
Yeah.
thank you for that. Thank you for that. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, doing a course a day is hard because doing 150 now, I try to figure what am I gonna say next. And usually my clothes are usually a pop up my head. Like I probably see one word and then I just make it into a whole quote. So that'd be pretty hard. So I'm not gonna lie.
It is,
But
but it's a talent because you get it
yeah,
done. So, you know,
yeah,
it's a Ken original. So that's what's up.
yeah, yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's what's up. So you've worked with other podcasters and content creators and stuff, and I know that you and Jay kind of you're doing this thing where you review films. Is there a film that you enjoy reviewing, or a film that you would want to review and talk about ever?
Mm. I talk about this movie all the time. Who I want to review Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
I want to I want to review Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That would be a pretty dope film to talk about. And if Jalen, if you're watching, that review that film. But yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit always been one of my favorite movies growing up. Even one of my favorite to this day. And yeah, definitely Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Definitely want to know. I know it's more, but that's one that's like on top of my list.
right. That's so interesting. Actually, this week, I want to say it was Wednesday night. My husband, so we typically like when we're all eating, we like to either watch a movie or we'll like a show or something. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit was the movie for Wednesday
Mm.
night.
Oh
So
wow.
very funny that well, you're just ironic that that's the movie that you would want to like review and it's on the top of your list because it's a good
Yeah.
movie.
It
It's
is a good movie. It is a good movie. I thought I said that Eddie Murphy was supposed to be doing that role, but he didn't believe in that concept at the time. And
Right.
now, and now years later, like, oh, I regret not doing that role. But
Yo, and watching that movie when you're older, it's different. Like
it is,
everything they say,
yeah,
I'm
it
like,
is.
oh my gosh, we were watching that when we were kids. We're like, okay, all right. All right, so it is time for the fiery seat of redundant heat. And what
Okay.
this is, Ken, I'm going to rapid fire questions. They're going to come at you and you can answer them or not, whatever you want to, but I'll tell you that answering them is a vibe. It's fun.
Oh
So,
man,
are you
like
ready?
kind of remind me of my five random classes. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. And it's so funny because I remember when I called it the fiery seat of heat, everybody's like, well, it's fiery and it's already hot. So why is it the fiery seat of heat? So I'm like, because I live in redundancy and it's my thing. So leave,
Oh man.
leave me alone. Leave me be.
Oh man.
Hi. So first question, you really like wrestling. I know you do. Who's your favorite wrestler right now?
That's kind of hard. But I'm gonna say Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
The new champion Cody Rhodes. Yeah, I'm gonna say Cody Rhodes.
He is the new champion. He is.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. I've been seeing clips, of course, because TikTok is just has too much shit going
Yeah.
on. Like,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
needs TV anymore? And I saw that Cody Rhodes was the new champion. So
Yeah.
shout out to you, Cody.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Shout out to Cody.
All right. So who's your favorite actor or actors or actress?
Man, this question always been hard. Okay. I'm gonna say for men, I'm gonna say Denzel is
Okay.
one. For women, Viola Davis.
Okay.
Of course, Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace. He
Yes.
was amazing. He was an amazing actor for real. There's a couple more, but I'm gonna say them. I'm gonna say those people still from now. For now.
Okay. 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 All right. Is there a show or a sitcom that you would like to be a part of or that you would like to act in or just even be like an extra in the back like this?
I mean, at one point, I wanted to be a part of Degrassi. At one point, yeah, at one point, I want to be a part of Degrassi.
Yo, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna front. Um, Degrassi, Canadians just be doing shit different.
Facts, facts, facts.
All right. What is your favorite movie genre?
Mm, um, drama, action. I do like rom com. I ain't gonna hold you. I do like rom coms, comedy, and
Okay.
and, bio, and biopics and biopics.
Okay. 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 Is there a movie that you can watch all the time and never get tired of watching?
See, Who Framed Roger Rabbit one, The Last Dragon,
Oh,
Black Panther. Let's see what else. What else?
you came
Mean
prepared.
Girls. Mean
Mean
Girls.
Girls.
Yeah, Mean Girls. Yeah, pretty funny. Um, Hitch. Hitch. Yeah, that's the name of food. That's the name of few.
Listen, you came prepared.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I did not know this was happening, but yeah, I definitely came up here.
You came prepared. You came prepared because that's it. You did it. You survived the fiery seat of redundant heat. It wasn't that bad. It's never that bad.
I think I survived it because I do something like this on my show called the Five Random Topics, and, yeah, I mean,
So you're
yeah,
prepared for it all the time. You're like,
oh yeah, I be prepared. Yeah, because sometimes when it comes to those things, I be joining with the guests. So yeah, so I keep prepared.
okay, that's what's up. All right. So, what's in store for Ken? Any upcoming projects with yourself, your podcast, your acting, just everything? What's going on with you?
Of course, we got season 8. I'm at the Gentleman Like the podcast September 15th. All the spinner shows are returning in October. So we'll be back in 2 days a week on October one on Sundays and Thursdays. Um, Nothing else at the moment. I am working on a new spin-off show that it will be Patreon only exclusive. We do,
Ooh,
yeah. I'm working on that. It'll be a little bit more. Let's just say a little more raunchy. It's more of gonna be like a late night vibe type of show.
that's
So that gonna be working in the future. Of course, Premier Boys through going on. So Premier Boys through out right now every Wednesdays, and nothing with the acting yet. nightlife promoting. It might be something later this year. We do figure things out with that. And yeah, I just trying to stay focused and trying to do all that I can basically.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I did wrote. I just started writing a script. I need to finish that. So I might do that too. Who knows? Who knows? I got a lot of things I always want to do. So
I
yeah.
was just gonna say, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. And I love
I
it.
try. I try. I like the thing about me. I like to keep. I like to try anything that's just me. And I like to keep myself busy the best way I can. So yeah, I just trying. I mean, also going on a lot of good podcasts on platform too. So catch me on more guest appearances as well.
Yeah, that's what's up. Hold on.
I trying. I
Yeah,
trying.
let's go. Shoot, listen, it's amazing. I can't wait to see what's in store. I'm super excited. Nothing but love and support over here. If you need anything, any help, I'm here. Don't worry. It's, of course, 100% over here. All
And I
right.
appreciate that. And
Yeah.
you've been killing it too. You know, keep doing your thing. You know, with the podcast show, with the comedian, and many more. I know you're about to do a whole lot of amazing things too. So keep
Uh,
doing your thing, Michelle.
thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Trying. You got to balance. It's a weird balance,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
but we're gonna get it done. So I'm very excited. I'm so excited for you. All right, my people, mi gente, it's about that time. Ken, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you so much. Like I said, this was long overdue. I appreciate you
Yes.
sharing your journey. I appreciate you sharing your past, your present, and your future. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But before we go, please let La Gente of the It's Me Shell podcast know where to catch you, any of your shows, how to contact you, connect, show love and support.
You can add me on IG, Ken underscore Mr. Gentleman, KEN underscore Mr. Gentleman. Mr. Gentleman, like that podcast every Sunday for the main series, every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays, where we have shows like a conversation about music podcast every first Thursday at 12 p.m. Date night talk podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. And the old school show with myself and the Star Rider Ride every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. The
Yeah.
Premier Way podcast every Wednesday at 12 p.m. And yeah, new season of the Gentleman Like That podcast September 15th. And all the spin-off series returning in October.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what's up. I was waiting for that.
oh yeah, also fast quote of the day every Mondays. There you go.
That's what's up. I am so excited. You got so much going on. And I will make sure that I put all that stuff in the description below. So all the links and all that good stuff will be there. So, you guys can go ahead, click, follow, support, stalk in a good way. Don't be that weird stalker because we're not into that. But everything else, we just love and support. That's all love over here. And make sure you follow, like, share, and subscribe, mi familia. This is how we grow. This is what we love out here. It's free too. Don't be such a cheapskate. All right. And Mienta, don't forget, make sure you follow your little girl over here. It's Me Shell Podcast on all podcast platforms. On Instagram at itsmi.chelle. Click the link in the bio. All my information will be on there. You already know what to do. And with that said, peace and love. We out.
Thank you again, Michelle.
I see you. It's me. 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 Shell.